Hello, dear friends. It's good that you join me. This is Bob Hatton, and this is the Encourager with an encouraging word for today, Christmas Eve. Yeah, we have had a look at the Christmas story backwards and forwards over these last couple of weeks. We looked in Luke's Gospel and Matthew's Gospel, and we saw the story of Christmas as the biblical writers had wrote it down. We tried to separate it from a lot of our traditions and stuff that we put in there. We don't find a stable, we don't find a donkey in the story. But if you think there was a stable and you think there was a donkey, that's okay with me. But we saw that it was a real story, and Matthew continued it with the story of the wise men coming from the east, coming so far away on this journey to come and worship the child. And then we looked in the Old Testament and we saw that there are many prophecies about the coming of Jesus. And this was so interesting. We didn't look at the history or the story from the Old Testament, but we looked at the status that this child would have, that Isaiah said a child has been born, a son has been given, and the government would be upon his shoulders. Shoulders a status of the anointed one, of the Christ who would come. Now today I want to have a look, I would say a cosmic view today as we go to the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation is the last book in the Bible. It's not an easy book to understand, and I believe that there are many misconceptions and many false interpretations that are very popular and that are going around at the moment. And I think it's important that we read right at the beginning, and it says this is the revelation of Jesus Christ. And what is happening is that John, who wrote it about 90 AD, towards the end of the first century, he wanted to show us who Jesus was. This is a revelation of Jesus Christ. Now, in the Gospels, in the four Gospels, we saw how Jesus lived here on earth. We saw the terrible crucifixion, and that is something that is inspiring. It shows us the love of God. It shows us how God sacrificed his own son. We see the victorious resurrection of Jesus and tells us that Jesus is alive even today. We see him going to heaven on Ascension Day, and then being crowned with glory and honor as he arrives back to his Father. Now, the book of Revelation, it tells us what Jesus is doing now at the moment. And it's sometimes difficult to understand, because it seems to be going back and it's going forward, and then we're in the present and so on. And trying to determine what is a little bit different. But please remember, it is not the revelation of the Antichrist. It's not a revelation of a great tribulation. It's not the revelation of the mark of the beast or anything like this. It's the revelation of Jesus Christ. So when we read this book, we've got to keep asking ourselves, what is Jesus doing? Now we've got the Christmas story in this book. How did heaven view the Christmas story? Well, in chapter 12, we're shown the Christmas story. And chapter 12 of Revelation is very similar to Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. We've got a woman, we've got a child, we've got a snake, and we've got the seed, or the offspring. And there is a big fight there going on. And we see this babe is born, and this babe is in danger, and the snake is trying to, snake or the dragon, sometimes it's called the dragon, sometimes it's snake, but anyway, he's attacking this baby, he's trying to destroy it, but it doesn't work. You can read this book, but the book of Revelation is also a book with great hope. It gives us hope, and that's what I spoke about yesterday. It gives us hope, and it tells us that we can overcome. It tells us that there is war now in heaven, that we're in the time of war. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12 tells us that we're in a spiritual warfare, but we're not fighting against flesh and blood. We're not fighting against people. We are fighting against spiritual entities, spiritual influences in our time. And it tells us a little bit how we are to fight. But here it says in the middle of chapter 12 that they who were being persecuted, who were in difficulties, they overcome him. That is the old serpent, the dragon, Satan, the devil, or whatever we want to call him. They overcame him by the word of their testimony and by the blood of the Lamb. And he was cast down, and they overcame him with the word of their testimony, with the blood of the Lamb, and they didn't love their lives unto death. This is a wonderful story, and we've got a wonderful day today, and I want to wish you a very, very happy Christmas, a blessed Christmas. I'll finish now right in the middle of it. Maybe I'll just give you one more verse to think about from Romans chapter 16 and verse 20. And Paul is writing there, and he says to the Christians, the God of peace will soon crush Satan under your feet. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you. Yeah, Satan is defeated. Jesus is the victor, and we are following Jesus. And as you celebrate the coming of Jesus, that God was made flesh and dwelt amongst us, as you begin to celebrate that today, I wish you God's blessing. I just hope that you can get a hold of this message of hope and know that we cannot fail, we cannot lose, because Jesus has won. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Happy Christmas, joyous Christmas, and I hope to see you again soon. You're Bob Hatton, your encourager.